going to go over how to add your pickups and have them rotate. So some of you might already have a cube already made out here, but what I'm going to do first is go ahead and create a 3D object and make a cube. And I just want to drop this thing down close to the ground, and I'm going to change its rotations. The Z, the Y, and the X all change to 45. Okay, and I want to get a good look. I just want to make sure this thing is not too close to the ground or like touching, and also don't want to make sure it's too far up. I'm also just going to maybe bump the scale down a little bit. Not that I necessarily need to, but and then go ahead and drop my Y down towards the ground a little bit. Okay. So here's my cube, and what we're going to do here is I'm first going to call that something else. I'm going to call that pick up. So I just hit return on it or right click, rename it, and just call it pickup. And then what I'm going to do is just go out here and I'm just going to place this thing on my screen. It looks pretty good. Now to move this around, I mean, you can go out here with your controls and move it, but I prefer not. I prefer actually going up to the transform controls and go and moving X and Z. Okay, Y is going to move it up and down, so I don't want to mess with that. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to go add component, and we're going to make a new script for this. So we're going to go new script, C#, we're going to call this rotator, capital R, and go ahead and create an add. And here's our rotator script. So we're going to go ahead into that rotator script, right? In Unity also, you might want to move that into your scripts already. And so I'm in here in my, that's my player controller script. I want to get my rotator up. And the code that we need for this is actually fairly simple. So you can get this off the Unity website. You go to Rollerball and you go to creating collectible objects, and here's our rotator script. The only thing we actually need in here is, you can see in the script there, is just this piece, which is right after void update. It is important that everything's spelled correctly though, so I'm just going to copy it there and let's see if we can get this go in. Otherwise, you can always go to the copy code option here. So we actually don't need void start at all, so I'm just going to get rid of this stuff. And I don't need any of this as well. Go to backspace out. But I do want to return down, and then I'm going to go down one more time, and I'm just going to paste that script in. So what we're saying here is we want this thing to transform. What do we want it to do? Rotate, and then at this degree on time. So we're just telling it that. I'm going to go ahead and Command S, and hopefully that works. One thing you can do to check is make sure everything's lit up. Rotate or mount behavior vector 3 times. And I'm going to go back here, and I want to add that to this so I haven't already. So it looks like I do have it on there, and I'm going to just save my scene. I already saved my script. If I go in theory, there we go. Okay, our cube is rotating. All right, so that looks good. All right, what I'm going to do next is we're going to do a couple things where we're going to make a series of these. So one thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go up and create an empty object. And we're going to call this empty object pick ups, capitalize them both. And then I'm also going to go down to my assets folder, and I'm going to create a new folder, and this one's going to be called prefabs. I already have one made here. So new folder underscore prefabs, right? Once you make that prefabs folder, what you want to do is take your pickup, not pickups, but your pickup, and move that down into it. Okay, so I already have one in there, but okay. And then the next thing I'm going to do is click on my cube, and I'm going to actually drop it into my pickups here. So now I have my prefab pickup in my pickups, okay? And we want to replicate this. So easy way to do that is click on it, go to Edit, go to Duplicate. Command D is the hotkey for that. Okay, now you can see it actually pasted it on top of itself. So I recommend just using your X and Z axis to move that around. You can see it changing down here. All right, and then same thing, go back, pick up one, Command D. Change my X, change my Z. And we want to do this until we have 10. So I'm going to leave that one the same. Until we have 10 pickups. Right? And the final result of this is going to look basically like a circle of pickups. And basically how I'm kind of doing it. Now I'm just going to rush through this so mine's not going to look quite as pretty. But again, you want to have 10 of these all kind of sorted out. This is something that you can use later on too in making more pickups or creating any kind of pickup that you want. It doesn't have to be a cube, and then just replicating it. So So I don't have 10, but I'm going to leave it there. Okay, now if I save and I hit play, in theory, that's just a replica, so it's all those 10 are going to be rotating. All right, next thing I want to do here is I want to go to my materials, and I'm going to create a new material. And I already have, but I'll create another one. Actually, you can create in materials. You can also make it in prefabs. It might be a little bit easier to make it in prefabs. So I go to create material. The reason being is these drop downs sometimes aren't opening up. So here's my new pickup material. Okay, so I just created material and I called it pickup material. Now if I double click on that, you can see there's no color sign. So if I go up to albedo and I change it, I want this to contrast what's going on in the field there. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to yellow. And then what I'm going to do is just move it onto my pickup here. And that one's the old one. So I moved on to pickup 1. This one's just an old one. I'm going to delete that guy out. And what's going on here is I applied it to this pickup and it applied it to all those because that was referencing that first one. So now if I hit play and I go to my game, you're going to see yellow spinning pickups. Now that's not the only way that you can get textures. You could just go ahead and download a texture from the internet. So here's a couple examples of that I literally just went into Images Google and I found one. So like a basketball texture. Let's go like wood texture. All right, so say I like this one, right? Okay, I can download it and then I can actually bring it into my Unity game. I would place this in my materials folder and then just let it load up, and then I'm just going to take it. All right, maybe I want my ground to be like that. So just one way that you can kind of modify your game, make it look a little bit cooler and mess around with it. So from here you should be good to go, and the next thing is going to be coding the pickups to be picked up by the ball.